Hey everybody, it's Shelly Hoffman, and it's actually Thursday this week. Normally we talk to the mayor on Wednesdays, but we pushed it back a day this week. Mix it up a little bit, right, sir?
That's right. I'm all mixed up.
So it's been a week and a day since we've talked, and you've given us a little bit of an update. But as always, there's just so much that happens in our village. So what do you have to share with us this week?
Well, first of all, I want to remind people that September 15th, which is a week from this coming Tuesday, will be the village elections from noon to 9 at Village Hall. You can get mail-in ballots by contacting Village Hall. They'll send them out to you, or you can vote in person. And there's 4 people running for 3 trustees positions, 3 incumbents and a challenger. Um, and we just encourage people to vote. It's always important to vote, and I think it's really important in the small elections that we get people out and vote. Um, I wanted to throw in a reminder of the national election, which is November 3rd. Heard a good bit of advice somebody put on yesterday. Um, if somebody comes to the door to pick up your mail-in ballot, don't give it to them. Mail it, or may be able to take it to Village Hall. But if there's ever going to be a problem, it's going to be because somebody's going to go door to door and pick them up and then change them or throw them away or whatever.
Right.
So just make sure you go through the normal channels. Anybody coming to your door to pick them up is probably not doing it legally, and we don't want to waste your vote. Big discussion. Got an email the other night from a longtime village resident who was concerned about the crosswalks in the village. Was near a couple of them at different times, and people were trying to cross and people wouldn't stop their cars. I did check with the police chief. I was pretty sure I knew the answer. It's a state law. I mean, you have to stop for pedestrians, particularly in a crosswalk. Many communities have you stop anywhere along the road. If somebody's crossing, you stop. And I think the state would say that is the law. Pedestrians have the right of way. Now, that being said, if you're trying to cross, we have one by the library. We have one by the Red Mill Inn. We have one up on Brown Street in Oswego that crosses to the path going down to the school. There's one down by Gates Funeral Home. There's one, where did I have? I had written down. Festa Fairway up that area, Aspen Springs. So that there are a few crosswalks in the village. Some of them are not exactly what you would call ideal because they're in very heavy traffic areas. The one by the Red Mill Inn has coming over a bridge, so you
Right.
can't see the crosswalk until you hit the top of the bridge. Drivers should be aware that there are crosswalks and that somebody could be in that crosswalk. It's really their duty to slow down a little bit and make sure they can stop. Now, for the people who are crossing, don't just walk out in the middle of 12 cars zipping by and say, I can't understand why you can't cross. Look for a little bit of a break in traffic where the cars are back a little bit. Step out, even try to make eye contact with the driver. I step out and hold up my hand and wave it so they see me. I would say that Mike Leffencheck pointed out that if somebody is crossing and they hit the center line to get to the other side, you still can't go. You got to wait till they're out of the road completely.
Yeah.
That's your obligation as a driver. So what a lot of it comes down to is people aren't paying a lot of attention, and somebody's cleaned as quickly, or I don't know what the impacts are going to be in the city, but I know the county, they're talking about a lot of layoffs. And somebody said to me yesterday, there were maybe 400 jobs in the county that have not been filled, of people who have retired within the last 6 months. I think the sheriff's department alone has 100 vacancies that have not been filled. It's got to start showing up somehow, with one or two less patrol cars on the road. It's going to take longer for them to respond. For people in our area, our locale, to look at what is going on in the city and the county, I think Ryan McMahon deserves a great tip of the cap, because I think what he's doing is the county's taking the hit, and they're still taking care of the municipalities like us. We got half of our infrastructure money a week ago, which we were concerned about. It's $350,000, and so we have another $350 coming before March 1st. But I wasn't sure we'd get any of it.
Yeah.
And we did. And knowing how tight they are and problems they're having, I think that he just said we could pass the pain down to all the villages, and they'd start laying people off. But we have a DPW staff of like 10 people. If we have to lay off 4, it's hugely going to impact services here. The county can spread things out,
A little bit more.
do things a little different. They have more leeway, more holes in the belt when you want to go to tighten it up and fasten it. And so I appreciate what Ryan McMahon and the county legislature is doing. And I want to say hats off to you for having Brian May on last week. I thought Brian was terrific. Really gave you some insight into a little more on how this stuff happens. They don't just sit down for 10 minutes and say, all right, let's just cut this stuff. There's a lot of meetings, a lot of talking, people fighting both directions.
Yeah.
Brian is a great representative of the Baldwinsville community. He does great for us. Ken Bush on the other side of the river, on the Van Buren side. They're always, I constantly get emails from Ken Bush, if you need this, if you need that. Brian's been a stand-up guy, looking out for us for a long time. So I really enjoyed your session with him. And when I think I sent you an email, all of a sudden he couldn't hear you.
Yeah. I mean, as you know, doing this, the technology glitches sometimes we don't have control over. But yeah, you said you could hear me, but he couldn't hear me. But we did what you and I do sometimes. We just disconnected, reconnected, and unfortunately it starts a new stream, but we were able to continue that way.
Yeah, it was very good. A lot of good information. I think people need to hear some of our legislators talk a little more, so that we know, just don't make assumptions that they're, flipping a coin and let's do it this way. I saw that the Shacksboro Peony sale is on September 11th and 12th from 10 to 4 at the museum. Face covering required. Bring your own bag, so you don't take somebody else's bag home with you. Yeah. Meals on Wheels is having a drive-through pulled pork dinner on the 6th of September from 4 until they run out. $10, not bad for pork, pulled pork and salt potatoes, and I think an ear of corn, that type of stuff, and a dessert.
Nice.
So things are going on still. I'm assuming with Marianne on this morning that you talked about the Taste of Beeville Fab Fest. But for people who maybe didn't see it, last fall we had our first Taste of Baldwinsville with the current restaurants and stuff. Used to have a Taste of Baldwinsville years ago. It just was spectacular. It went over great despite a huge rainstorm during part of it. It was good music. They had it on the island. They were all set up. They were giving $1 sample, and I think you could get a full meal type also for $5 or something. I went over in the evening after the rain and got to talk with a lot of the restaurant owners that night. They were thrilled, and they couldn't wait for it to happen again this year. And of course, things have happened like has been happening, but they are going to try to give us something. If you go on our Facebook site, if you go on the Chamber of Commerce site, there's a listing of all the details, but it's the week of the 22nd of September.
Right.
And all these restaurants and I think the candy shop and other places are going to be open. You go and buy something, take your picture, picking it up or whatever at the door of the business, post that picture on Facebook. There's a little bit more to it. You have to like the Taste of Baldwinsville on Facebook, I think. And
Yeah, you have to like the Taste of Baldwinsville. You have to like the restaurant that you're at. And mainly that's just so they can kind of make sure they're getting all your entries. So they see the hashtag, they see the like, it's a way to make sure you don't slip through the cracks as well. And then, there's great gift card prizes that the vendors are giving a $25 gift card, and then they have a sponsor too, who I apologize, I can't think of off the top of my head, but they're donating money to have a $100 gift card to your favorite Baldwinsville restaurant that participated. So I think it's great. I think it's this, between the sidewalk stuff, the Lions Club putting in the swings, the chamber putting together this event, just like we talk every week, it's just the way that we're making it work in this community just shows you what a strong community it is.
it's great. It seems like every week somebody wants to try something new. The Zumba was on the island. We had the haiku down at the square.
Yeah.
Might not tickle your fancy, but at least you say people are doing something. Yeah. I know people that I talked to said they had no idea what haiku was, weren't too excited. I said, but there are people who enjoy it. And so we're not all the same. Not everybody likes a parade. Well, I guess most everybody likes a parade, but it's the same with music. I'm not going on the island because I don't like hard rock, or I don't like country, or I don't like punk, but somebody does. And we try to make the most of everybody's tastes and include everybody. A lot of stuff at Canton Woods. Ruth and Joni and the crew keep churning stuff out. They had their ice cream giveaway last week. Wasn't as heavily attended as they had anticipated. It was well attended, but they thought there'd be more people. So they're going to do it again on the 10th, which would be a week from today. Is today the 3rd? Yes.
Yes.
So it'll be next Thursday at 2:00. Drive up. Somebody will hand you your ice cream. This is National Senior Center Month, so they're really trying to get some things done. The motto of the month is delivering vital connections. So I think most people can see that the stuff the senior center does is vital to our older community. And so with that in mind, they're having to walk for the woods, which used to be a one morning type thing, is going to be all month. And again, they're just suggesting maybe you take a picture of yourself walking, or you and a friend if you're walking, and then put it on the Canton Woods activity group site or whatever, and ask for some sponsors. I think it's $10 to officially be a part of the walk. If you haven't seen a form, call the senior center. They'll send you. I think it's coming with a newsletter, or came with the August one, but again with September. So people can walk wherever they want, however fast they want, and try to raise a little money. Lunches are still going on and are well participated with. Mondays and Fridays, call in a couple of days ahead of time. So like for a Monday lunch, you should call in by Thursday or Friday of the week before. And so they have an idea how many to tell Peace to send out. Food Senses, I think we mentioned last week, they're back on September 14th, 10:30 is the deadline to order. This is for all ages. And you get a pack, like a box of 9 or 10 different items. And then there's also some extra items. I ordered one of the extra items, which is chicken stuffed with apples and cranberries, which sound delicious. So give it a try and see how that goes. Have something in the freezer on a night when, Linda's doing something, she's busy, doesn't feel like cooking something big. I can go down and pop one in the microwave or whatever. The art group meets the 15th at 11. If you haven't joined the art group, I'm sure you're more than welcome. Mike Conway is the instructor, retired art teacher from Reynolds. And you can certainly feel that you can join them. You might want to call the center to find out what kind of art sometimes they're painting, sometimes they're sketching. So might have to bring a piece of equipment to participate. Tai Chi is Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 a.m. In the morning, out there swinging those sticks around. I don't even know what 8 o'clock in the morning looks like anymore since I retired. That's the book club, September 15th at 2 o'clock. The Keeper of Lost Things is the book. Again, that's outside, wear a mask. Pretty much standard operating procedure. If you're going anything Canton Woods, outside or not, they're expecting you to wear a mask. Another concert on the 17th of September at 3 o'clock. Rock Shadows. Bring your own chairs. Wear a mask. Ruth wanted me to remind people that the neighborhood advisor is available all week long. And if you call the center, she will make plans to either meet you under the pavilion, meet you at a park if it's easier, and try to help you with whatever problem you have. And they pretty wide ranging things that they can impact. I mean, like heat, getting to doctor's appointments, but also if you're having problems with a landlord, can advise you. If there's tax situations, and she'd probably set you up with a free tax consultant and that type of stuff. So feel free to call the neighborhood advisor. Big news, October 5th, Monday, Down Memory Lane returns. This is the mayor and the first lady quite often. And all we do is talk about the good old days. One time we did it, we talked about how people celebrated Christmas. And with some of the older people that we had in the group, a lot of them came from farms or, time was tough when they were kids. They're a little older than me. And so the way they observed Christmas was maybe different for people. And we have one gal who grew up in Egypt, moved to France to get away from oppression in Egypt, met her husband, who was a soldier or a military guy, now lives in Baldwinsville. Another gal lives up in, I believe, in Alberta, way up in the hinterlands of Canada. So she brings a whole different perspective to memories from when she was a kid. We always assume when I was a kid, everybody watched Howdy Doody. We did certain things. They may not have had television till later. So it's interesting to hear the different feedback. So we're going to do it by Zoom. I'll set it up ahead of time, early enough that they can call Canton Woods, and Canton Woods will have the link and send it to them, and then we'll do an hour or so. It'll be a little more difficult because you have to kind of acknowledge people when they want to talk. Like put your hand up and then you're up next, and so you don't start talking over the top of each other. But it was really fun last year. Cindy went a couple times. My sister, her memory and my memory of the same things are different. But I'm 4 years older and I'm a boy. She's a girl. You see things differently. So it was kind of fun. The basics are the same. And I did forget, the center is offering flu shots, drive-up flu shots on September 23rd at 9 o'clock. I will try to remind people again next week. So you pull up in your car, you have to sign a piece of paper, like you did when you were inside, and then you just take your shirt up and they give you a shot and goodbye. And it's for people who wonder whether they need the flu shot. What I'm hearing from the experts is this is more important than ever, because with the virus, you don't want to get the flu and then get exposed to the virus and then really be whipped. So September 23rd, they're also hoping to do one in October. This is one of the pharmacies. I think this might be Rite Aid, is sending somebody over. Any questions on any of this stuff, always call the center. One thing before we talk, I get my special guest to come in, is I got a note from the state comptroller, Tom DiNapoli, $16 billion in unclaimed funds sitting in a bank account in Albany, waiting for Shelley Hoffman or whoever to call, to write and say, I think some of that's mine. It might be $100, whatever. You go on the just do a search for New York State Comptroller, and there'll be a link on his site to the funds. People say, well, how would I have money there? Well, it could be that you had an insurance policy that lapsed and there was some cash value to it, but maybe you moved from another state and or from another part of the state, and they don't know how to find you to give you the money. So
and
look up and
just for a true story, that did happen. I had a CD for a bank account when I was in my early 20s, and it went off. I moved down to the Carolinas. I did different things. I forgot about it, and eventually it just went into an account like that. And somebody told me they saw my name. They did a search for all the family members, and sure enough, it was just a couple $100, but still a couple $100 is a couple $100.
You might as well have it, right?
Yep.
I know. I think if it was last year or the year before, Dick Long, who's our assistant police department clerk, dispatcher, he was looking through and had seen some of his friends and was telling, oh, you should check, you've got, $82 coming. Sometimes it's a bank account that maybe you had as a kid and you forgot because you thought you took all the money out, but there's still $75 in it or something. And you go look, you just literally look under your name, and I think it's all in alphabetical order. And you go down through, and sure enough, there you are. And I think it explains to you how to go about claiming your money. So it's good to know that there's some money available. Apparently, what he said on his release is the office returns $1.5 million a day. So there's a lot of money getting sent back to people. And I don't know what happens if after a certain amount of time, if you don't claim it, then it just becomes state money. He's very zealous in trying to get you to get your money back. So it doesn't sound like they're hoarding it. But I don't think a lot of people realize that they very well could be in that category. Right. So take a look, state comptroller. And again, this is the kind of thing as a senior, if you don't know how to look that kind of stuff up, somebody at the senior center might help you out a little bit. So always feel like you can call. And the last thing I have is last year, my wife did a calendar with pictures from the village of Baldwinsville submitted by people from the village or the area of village scenes, the dam, the boats going through the lock, the parks, different things that were happening around the village. And my wife had to get permission from them, written permission, to put their pictures in. She gave them credits under the pictures so they got, they could show their friends that they were in a calendar. And it came out spectacular. It was kind of like one of those snapfish type of things where you can go on and get the 12 pages of the calendar and put the picture in, size it the way you want. So she spent a lot of time doing that with the idea that any money that she made would go to Canton Woods. And it was very successful. She toyed with the idea of, should I do it? Should I not do it? Again, it was a lot of work. There were a lot of nights when she came to bed at 3:00 in the morning because I had to edit 3 or 4 more pictures that came in that I didn't have before. So would you like to talk and save me from trying to remember what you told me? Why don't you slide in here and sit down? For everybody who doesn't know, this is the First Lady.
Hi, Shelley.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. Going to talk about the calendar.
Perfect. Let's hear about it.
All right. This was a fundraiser that we did last year for Canton Woods. It was very successful. And the reason for that was all the people in Beeville who so kindly contributed pictures that they took around Baldwinsville and donated them to the cause. And I found in doing the project, I just ran upstairs, up 2 flights of stairs. And part of that was because they love our seniors too. They love Canton Woods. They wanted to support, and it was just a real feel-good fundraiser to do. We kept the price down to $20, which had some people purchasing 1 calendar, 2, 3, all the way up to 12 calendars. What we found was people would pick up 1 or 2 and then realize that they'd make a good, inexpensive Christmas gift. And also for friends and family who lived in Baldwinsville and have moved away and really, really miss it. We sent calendars. There was a lady in Hawaii who ordered.
Wow.
Texas. I must have mailed out probably 40, 45 mailings for the calendars. But this year, to make it happen again, we're hoping to make it a little easier. It was a lot. Not complaining, was very happy to do it, but it was a lot. So I'm hoping for, if we can get some businesses who are open a little later than Canton Woods is, possibly weekends, that would be willing to have some of our calendars that to sell, or if people prepaid and want to pick it up there, that we can drop them off and they can do that. People have started submitting pictures. We got some really nice ones, and they will be different from last year. So anybody who ordered last year, don't be afraid to get another one. But we've got some nice ones coming in. If anybody wants to submit pictures for consideration, because we do get a lot and they all can't make it, unfortunately, email the pictures to Amma Clarke, AMMACLARKE at AOL.com, and put in the subject line 2021 calendar. In the email, maybe add where the picture was taken and who gets the photo credit. That's very important. We can post the information probably.
Yeah, we will.
Okay. It would be awesome too if we could find somebody who could help us set up a web page to streamline the information for the people and for sales. I was gonna and for the sales and payment for the calendars. I have somebody in mind, but I'm not sure. She might be really, really busy, so I don't want to pressure her. So if
I may know who you're talking about. I'll shoot some pressure that way too.
there you go. There you go. So we hope to do it again this year. It will depend on printing prices, because I don't know, $20 I thought was very fair.
Yeah.
Price for it, but I don't know if people want to pay $30, $35 for it. So if we can get the printing prices the same, that will be the key. Let's see, was there anything else?
Yeah.
Oh, I started a Facebook page called Baldwinsville Calendar Sales.
Okay.
Just for starters. So to gather people who want more information, and so they'll know when the calendars are ready for purchases. So if they want to go ahead and go there to Baldwinsville Calendar Sales and like the page, it will help them be informed. But here's some, this one here was Derek Shepard, took this gorgeous aerial view. Isn't that beautiful?
So pretty. Mm-hmm.
And then we had Ruth Troy, took the picture. This is the gazebo at Canton Woods.
Oh, wow. Pretty.
That's January. Not bad. Let's see. I won't show you every page, but some need to be shown. Some are really outstanding. And we got our Beeville Diner.
Yep. Red Milligan. Yep.
You know, street
nice.
picture. Aren't they pretty?
They are pretty. And it's nice that some of the pages have a collage. So they're just, it's not just 12 to 14.
Yeah.
It's more. So I saw that picture. Beautiful.
This one here.
Oh,
and then,
nice.
of course, we have the Christmas tree.
Of course. The parade.
Then the parade. Yeah. So, I mean, people really, really seem to like it. And I'd love to have it be another success
we can answer it then, or
Okay.
I'll get back to them.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, you two enjoy the rest of your day, and I will post the picture